Regression model is used to predict the value of a numerical variable. So regression comes under actually prediction and the stages of regression, comparison of simple linear regression and multiple linear regression, and linear and non-linear regression. What is the difference and how we can do in on data set? Logistic regression, I think, useful for binary classification technique, and one more technique is LDA. So any stages, any regression technique will have these particular steps: collection of the data, pre-processing if you want, if you have any error data, unwanted data, irrelevant data, you can do pre-processing, which is must for quality data analysis. And the training set, test set, you have to get idea about these two. And visualization, maybe descriptive statistics or descriptive analysis you have to do. And which one is a response variable, which one is actually a dependent and independent variable, you have to know. And what is the predictor set, what is the response variable, validate the model using some training and test data, and improving the model, how we can do by minimizing the error rate, and comparing with other models, what will be the accuracy, and how finally how we can predict the model by supplying our data, real-time data, to the already built model. Okay, so let us see step by step what is the meaning of this procedure. So we have one command called attach. Attach is used to access the individual columns in the data sets. For example, if you see here, empty cards is a data set. If you run it, so it is there in data function. Yeah, it was displayed actually. It is taking some time to execute. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Is my screen
Yes,
is
sir.
visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah, here cards is a data set which contain different cards and their mileage and disposition, horsepower and weight of the car. Okay, then gears of the car. Okay, so these are the features: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 features. Okay, now on this data I will implement the regression model. Okay, now here if you want to access actually any column of the data, you have to use the dollar and MPG column. So run it. So I will give the file name here because okay, now regression models. So I'm saving desktop .r file. Yeah, now everything will be in the file name with the file name regression models. So this is the mileage values of the observations. So if you want to know how many number of rows and columns in this particular data set, I think dim. Yeah, 32 rows and 11 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns. 11 columns and 32 observations. 32 observations stands for 32 types of the cards with their respective values. Okay. Now we go to this. Yeah, first command is attach empty cards. This is used to actually access the individual columns. For example, if I type MPG, you know, what is it showing? Object MPG not found. To avoid this, I can type attach empty cards, which is actually used to access the columns of the empty cards individually. Yeah, I think small a, because all commands in RTool are case sensitive. Yeah, attach empty cards. Now you can access directly the columns individually. Yeah, now this is the 32 observations of mileage data. Next, the next command is here is finding the mean of the mileage, mileage column. So the average of all these observations will be stored in this particular variable. So I think some disturbance is coming, sir. I think you have to mute.
Okay, sir. Now
Yeah.
rectified. Yeah.
Yeah. So here I'm calculating the mean for all the mileage of the vehicles. That I'm storing in a hat1. So if you want to display that mpg underscore hat1. So once you execute, that object will be stored in memory. So no need to type full, it will come automatically. So what is the average mileage of all vehicles in the empty cars data set? 20.09. So I will tell you why I am calculating this mean at the end. So now next one, the mean of the mileage of the vehicle minus each and every observation. Okay, this is actually difference between each and every observation with the mean that I am storing in the mpg underscore bias1. Now I want to know the value of this. Okay, now this is 4.4. Okay, each and every value observation with when compared to the mean of all the mileage of the cars, the difference is 4. You take all the values, the average difference between the center of the data and the individual observation is 4.4. Now next, how can I find the sum of squares? Now here I am calculating the mean sigma I equal to 1 to n xi minus x minus x bar, xi minus x bar whole square. This is used to calculate the variation and its squares, differences between the each observation with the average of the values and the squares of that, sum of squares. Now if you want to know the value, you can type like this and execute it. So this is sum of squares. So in the mathematics, we have sigma I equal to 1 to n xi by n, that is mean. Now this is actually the formula of sigma I equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square by n. Okay. Now next part. So these things you have to know in the statistical analysis part. So next one, sum of squares. This is a difference between observation and the average of the values, sum of the differences and their squares. And this is sum of squares. This is mileage values and each and every average of the all the vehicles, xi minus x bar whole square and the sum, that is the mean. Here only the sum, numerator part, sum of squares. Now if you want to display that, we have this one, mpg underscore ss1. So 1126 by total observation 32 will give you some value. For example, what will be the 1126 by 32? Roughly, okay, 1 minute, 1132 by 32. So it is giving 35. So this is actually that variance. So this is variance. Okay, this is sum of squares, only the numerator part. Okay, now next one, how to print all these values in a data set. How to print all these hat1, bias1, variance, sum of squares in a data set. So that is print data.frame. This will convert your values in a rows and columns way. Bias1, which contains this value, and variance and the sum of squares. So variance 11 is not there, 1 is there. Okay, so these are the columns and this is the value. Now this is bias1, 4.4, variance 1 will be having 35, and the sum of squares is 1126. Okay. Now, the first regression model is a simple linear regression. Where it is. Okay. Now, here I am taking the problem of linear regression. Before that, I will make row names as null. Why this row names has become null? Why I am taking null? Just you observe. In empty cards, this Mazda R, RX4, Datsun, these are all not useful for analysis part. Only we are going to take analysis on columns. Okay. This depends on problem. Row names are not required. So that I'm making null. The row, the columns which are not useful in analysis, you have to make null and store into a different object. Okay, now if you type empty cards, row names will be disappeared. Did you see here? Row names are disappeared. To remove that, we are making null for row names. Now, one by one, I'm extracting the data before making analysis. Now, next one, I want to implement a linear regression and I want to make the prediction direct in a single line. So that variable is mpg underscore hat to predict the. So what is the problem here? I'm highlighting estimating the mileage with the weight. So generally, the car weight is very high, mileage will be low. So anyway, these two are actually negatively correlated. But I want to know from the mileage of all the 32 vehicles which are available here, and I want to predict the mileage for the given weight of the vehicle. For example, here 2.6 kgs of or 2.6 tons of the vehicle is having 20 will be giving 21 mileage. So I want to predict the mileage. This is a response variable, dependent variable. This is the weight is a independent variable. Okay, this is tilde symbol is separated between y and x variable. LM is a linear regression function equation. Predict is actually predict the values from the model. And I am taking empty cards. Empty cards is actually contains the numerical data. Linear regression will work only on numerical data, even though if you don't have numerical data, convert into numerical data. Okay, now it's executed. Now, if you want to know the model result, okay, you can type so what is this actually? LM is a linear regression model, which is a simple linear regression. W1x or y equal to m. Okay. Now here mpg is a y variable. I am predicting the mileage for the given weight, and I am taking all the empty cards vehicles. For the first vehicle, actual weight is 21, but the model is predicted that 23. Are you following, sir? Participants, are you following me?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So the difference here is 2 only. Now, second observation, if you go here again 21, but what the model is predicted 21 only. Here the error rate is 0. But I want to know the average error rate when compared to actual value and predicted value of all the observations. That is more important to take the decision model is good or bad, or can I go for next model? Okay. Now, next part I'm doing that. Okay. Now I'm calculating the mean. So the model is stored in MPG had 2 predicted values. So this MPG had 2 is actually contains model predicted values. MPG is actually original value. Original value is 21. 21 minus 23 plus 21 minus 21 plus last observation. What is the last observation? 21.4. And minus 22.4 by total observation will be stored in bias 2. So now if you want to know that the average difference or error rate 0.8. So industry people will write the threshold. If the mean value difference between actual and expected value when compared to all observations, if it is more than 8 or less than equal to 8, so they will write the conditions and they will have their own conclusions. Somebody will allow up to 5 only, somebody will not allow more than 5. It depends on the company and their requirement. And the next, some people wants to judge the model not only based on the only mean. So they will go for another statistical formula, squares. They will calculate the squares. So previously I have mileage first value minus predicted value 23 whole square plus last value 21.4 minus 22.4 difference and the square of it. For that mean, total observation is 32. That I am storing in a variance. So MPG underscore VAR2. Random. So almost look like the same. If you are performing square of differences and without a squares, almost a variation is same. So that means still there is no big variation between the measure 1 and the measure 2, metric 1 and metric 2. Another measure sum of squares. Sometimes this is also very important. I'm going level by level how the people will judge the model based on predicted and actual values. Again, I'm calculating first value minus the predicted value whole square. I'm taking only sum of it, sum of squares. Now here it is a 278.32. Now I'm displaying all these statistical values differences in a table format. What is the first one? Bias 2, then variance 2 and SS2. Now here you can find 8.8, 8.6, 278. So previously existing values okay, 4.4, there 8.8, 35, here variance is 8. That is actual variance, but here predicted values and variance. So here we can reduce the bias by reducing the model complexity and we can reduce mean square error. So we are actually calculated mean square error. So this is actually mean square error. So we can reduce the mean square error by increasing the model complexity. So what is the mean square error we got in variance to 8.6, which is very less. Still, if you want to minimize that, you have to take some precautions. You have to go for some other model or take the correct data, do some pre-processing like that. You have to minimize the variance. Okay, this is just a introduction part to how to do regression analysis, how to do simple linear regression where one independent variable and only one dependent variable on empty CARS data, one sample data. If you create your own model on any one data set, how can we assess the model? There are some statistical error measures are there. Root mean squared error, sum of squares, and other measures also there more than this. Now again, simple linear regression model by applying the new data sets. So right now what I did up to now, I am taking empty cars data, I am removing row names, I am taking one dependent variable which is mileage. What is the data I am going to supply? Weights. In this case, y is a mileage and x is a weight. For that, I created one model. That model is simple linear regression. Then I predicted from the model by taking each and every weight of the vehicle, and I was predicted the mileage. But always the model will perform better on existing data, but not on new data. Now the next part is you have to test the model by supplying the new data. So for that I'm going to create this. Okay, now I'm going to create this MPG underscore SLR, which is a variable or object. LM is a linear regression function. Mileage is a Y variable. And in terms of function of X is a weight, data equal empty cars. So now I want to display the result of this linear regression. So which is Y here? Mileage. Y equal to mileage equal to the intercept. So 37.285 minus 5.344 into the weight. That is the equation. Okay. Actually, it is in the form of y equal to mx plus c. Okay. Here y is the mileage. So I will put in the comment. So where y equal to the MPG, comma, and x equal to weight. Here, what is m value? 37.285. What is c value constant minus, c value is 37.285, and the coefficient for WT, that is m, is minus 5.344. Okay, this is the model built by the LM function on the given data set empty cars by taking one y value and x value, one response variable, one predictor variable, one target variable or the dependent variable, one independent variable. Coming to next one, I want to give the summary or analysis on above created model. So that is a summary of what is the model object, MPG underscore SLR coefficients. Yeah. So for each and every value, there is a meaning in the output of this, but we need to be strong actually in statistics to understand each and every parameter. Now, next one, I want to predict the value of a given weight, the mileage. So that I am storing new data.frame. Weight I am supplying is 3.5 and 1.7. In the above data set, if any weight of the vehicle is, for example, 3.5, here it was there. What is expected mileage of that vehicle if the weight of the car is 3.5 roughly? So where is there is no 3.5, and the nearest value I am taking is example 3.8. Expected is 22.8 and 1.7. So there is no 1.7, but I will give some 2.5. For 2.5, expected is either 21 or 22 or in between. We will see. So that I'm storing new dat. If you want to know the values, you can type and you can know. So 3.5 or 2.5 in a vector. Now, I want to predict this. I want to predict the value of mileage, which is stored in new dat. If you supply 3.5, what is the mileage? If you supply with 2.5, what is the mileage? That will be printed using predict function. See, for 3.5 weight, expected car weight mileage is 18. So where is 3.5? So 3.98 is there. Expected is 22 and predicted value is 18. Difference is 4. Okay, now next 2.5. For the given weight of the car is 2.5. For the 2.5, where it was there, I will take 2.9. Expected is 10.4. And sorry, that is draught. So I have to take the weight. Here it is near to 2.5, 21.5. It was given 23. Difference is 2 only. So model is giving approximate results. So in any analysis part, any machine learning part, approximate results is better than accurate results. No one model will give accurate. All models will give only approximate results. Next. So now for you exercise is, you consider air quality data set of R and replace missing values by the average after removing them, and compute total variance in ozone, which is a attribute in air quality data set. And you build your own SLR model by using temperature as a predictor variable. Okay, temperature as a predictor variable. So how to do this? First, you have to access the air quality data set. So if you want to know that data of air quality, here it was there. So run it. So it will display the data set. Now you type it, here data is displayed. Ozone, solar data, wind, temperature, month, day. So how many days here? So maybe some 153 days of data. So on this data set, you complete this exercise later. And then I go to next multiple linear regression, where one variable contains more than one independent variable. So what is the function here? I'm using same MLM, but mileage is dependent on not only weight but also disposition. So I'm taking the second variable value, second variable as a independent variable. So that I am storing in MPG underscore MLR. MLR means multiple linear regression. Okay. Now MPG is in terms of, this is a tilde symbol separated between y and x terms. So now I will run this one, and if you want to see the result, MPG underscore MLR. Now you see this is actually y equal to W naught plus W1x plus W2x, W2x. Okay, W1x1 plus W2x2. So the equation will be mileage equal to 34.9 minus 3.3 into weight minus 0.01 into disposition. If you want to supply any weight and disposition value, it will correctly predict the mileage values. That is a multiple linear regression model. Now for this also we can predict it. So how to predict the values? As I told you, we have to supply the two values. You supply here two values. Okay, now I will give you here disposition value equal to. So you take any two examples or samples. 160 and 108. 160 and 108. We'll see what will be there in the object. Fine. Now, how can you predict it? Just use the function predict and the model name correctly. But here my model is not SLR, MLR. And a new dot contains above two values. So what is the predicted value for first case? If the weight is 3.5, disposition is 160. So if the weight is 3.5. Yeah, for example, this here. So I will give in a reverse way 2.5 and 3.5 because 160. It will one. It will be 21.
Sir, Robles, sir. Voice is not audible, sir.
Sir, my voice
Yeah.
is not audible.
Now okay,
Now
sir.
it's okay, sir.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So, simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, both are giving accurate values. But this model is depending on more than one value. Two variables. What are the two variables? One is weight, one is disposition. This model is better than the previous one. So it is
Sir, Robles.
Hello.
Maybe some network issue from Robles, sir. I think so.
అదే మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నట్టున్నారు.
Sir, connect అవుతుంది.
Is it okay, sir, now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some network issue.
Yeah.
So here I'm creating simple linear regression stored in SLR, and I created multiple linear regression using MLR. Now, this is root mean squared error or squared error I'm calculating. R squared error I'm calculating for the model MPG_SLR. For that I'm displaying summary. Next I'm calculating same R squared error for second model MLR, which is stored in the second object. Another extended measure is adjusted R square. That I am calculating and I am storing in a SLR, ARSQ_SLR. Okay. Now after this, I am calculating adjusted R square for the second model also in a different object. So how many measures I am calculating? So the first two commands are by creating simple linear regression model and a non-linear regression model. Second one, third command is used to find the R squared value of the first model, R squared value of the second model, because these two models, R squared error will give you which one is a better one. So adjusted R square is another measure which will decide your model is good or bad. For the same two models, I calculated adjusted R square value also. And all these four values, R squared of the two models, adjusted R squared of the values of the two models, will be stored in a data frame, converted into a data frame. So one by one I am executing. You see the all the R square and adjusted R square errors values for both models. You can see here R square error for first model is 0.75, R square error for MLR 0.78. So in this case, R 0.75 is very lower, and adjusted R square value 0.74, here 0.76. So both models are actually performing well on this small data set by calculating the R square value and adjusted R square values. Okay, in statistical analysis, these two metrics actually used for judging or before taking a decision whether a model is good or bad, these two metrics will be useful. So this is how to compare one model with another model with the metrics. So here multiple linear regression is improved over SLR in terms of R squared error. Now nonlinear regression actually is in the form of y equal to W0 plus W1 x power 1 and W2 x square, W3 x cube, and so on Wn x power n. Exponentiation will be there in a nonlinear model. So for that, how we can calculate, how we can execute nonlinear model. Okay. So first we have to calculate. Okay. I will explain this one also. So what I explained just now, linear model, multiple linear model, comparison, how we can do, how we can check the accuracies. So this attach empty cars already executed, and my independent variable is weight. I am taking the weight, and I am calculating exponentiation of the weight values using this symbol, and I am storing into WT2. So what is my variable? WT2. This stands for squaring of the weight values. So weight and weight square. So if you want to check weight square, you can check the squaring of our values. So roughly here 2.6 square is 6.8. Okay, last one 2.7 square is 7.72. Okay, so these are the squares and calculating and storing. Now I'm actually creating a nonlinear model. How we can say that LM is a linear regression, and then WT plus WT square. So this is not WT2. This is a squared values. So this is actually y equal to W0 x1, W0 plus W1 x power 1, W2 x square. This x square will be weight square. X1 will be weight. That result will be stored in NLR. Run it. Now I'm executing this NLR. Now this is the equation of weight. Okay. So y equal to 49.93 minus 13.3 into weight plus 1.17 into weight square, which is actually WT2, but actually that contains squares. Same procedure for predicting. Same procedure for predicting. So what we are doing, I am taking nonlinear regression model. My dependent variable is mileage, and I am taking the x term WT, which is x power 1, plus this is another way to write the same equation, I of WT square. So WT2 is, if it is not available, I can also write I of WT power square, because in future, if you want to write x cube, then simply you write I have WT exponentiation, then cube. Okay, execute it and see the equation. This is the equation. So this is y equal to 48.40 minus 11.8 into weight plus 0.68 into weight square plus 0.04 into weight cube. Okay, sometimes you can take cubes also. If you don't want that, if you want to build the model up to the squaring of the weight, you can take like this. So data equal to empty cars. From this data, I am taking WT and I am taking squaring of the WT values, weight values, and which are used to build the model to predict the mileage. Now you see the difference in the values. Now this is y equal to 49.93. See, both are same. What is the syntax I used here? WT2. Model is 49.93 minus 13.1. Minus 13.1. Both are same. Now next one. How to plot, how to give the graph for the given data. This is an extension of actually regression model for analysis purpose. I want to display a plot for the given on a mileage, how the values are distributed, and the graph name is mileage versus weight. So run it. I want to give a plot or a line using AB line function for the MPG SLR. What is MPG SLR? What is MPG SLR? That is a simple linear regression model variable. Simple linear regression variable. So now you see the display here. I created a plot where x-axis will be weight and y-axis will be mileage for all the existing data points. So it is taking some time to display the graph in a bigger way. You can see here every dot, every bubble is a representation of two values. One is weight and mileage. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. No, so though 15 here, 9, 24, 28, 9, 30, 32. So 32 observations, 32 bubbles, 32 points. So from this, if you observe, see, mileage is initially very high if the weight of the car is very low. If the weight is very low, okay, the weight is increasing here. Initially, we have the weight is very low and the mileage value is 30. So actually, oh, this is from the model, not actual values, from the model. From the model. Now, next one, how to give the graph for predicted values from the NLR. So what is this NLR? Non-linear regression. What is NLR? Non-linear regression. Same type of graph I want to plot for the non-linear model. So for that, I am using predict the weight, predict the mileage for the weights from the model, MPG underscore NLR, and that color of the bubbles may be red color, line may be red color, line width and a line type equal to 4. Okay. So now I'm executing this. So please observe here, there is a dotted curve here, dotted line. So which is actually look like negative correlation. So generally weight is increasing, mileage will decrease. Okay, if your weight is increasing, mileage will decrease. So this is actually negative correlation. So this is possible through this lines and AB line functions. So if you want to change the line width, line type also you can change. Okay. Now I want to give a description of different notations because I have both analysis in a single graph. Now you can find here, so which is actually represents which one. So green color curve actually represents linear, and the red color identification is for non-linear model. So here the visibility is not clear, but here the visibility is not clear, but it will come, it will appear correctly in your laptop if the screen is very big. Okay, just to try to understand the basic concept of how to draw the plots for various models. Okay, next. Now the next is logistic regression. This is actually used to find out the model predicted values, how to predict the value of a numerical variable if your column is, if your target variable is yes or no type or 0 or 1 type. So this is logistic regression model. I am taking the actually IRIS data set. So first I have to take IRIS data set, run it. Now you know here sepal width, petal width, flower. There are different flowers in the species data. Setosa, versicolor, virginica, 3 types of classes of flowers are there. Each and every flower will have sepal length, sepal width, petal width. Okay, there are 150 flowers types are there here. All are numerical values. Okay, on this I'm implementing this logistic regression. Logistic regression, first we have to do pre-processing. You know, here there is an IRIS data, and this will work for only binary class prediction problems. So how many classes are there in this IRIS data? 3 classes. What are those? Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. So I want to remove Setosa and I want to store into a raw object. I want to display it. Now you please observe 150 records are there, but Setosa records are removed. So first 50 records are removed because I want to build a model of logistic regression on the data set which contains the target class labels only 2, 0 or 1 or yes or no type. So for the given flower, sepal length, sepal width, petal width, model has to display whether it is belongs to versicolor class or virginica class. For that I done pre-processing here. And the next one, I want to convert the spaces into factorization. So factorization or factor will convert the given class labels into categories. So maybe versicolor is 1 or virginica is 2, or versicolor is 0 or virginica is 2. That factorization will be done. That will be stored in raw separated by dollar spaces. So now I executed raw underscore spaces. You know, here versicolor and virginica are only extracted. If you want to display the structure of this data, so there are 2 levels here, versicolor, virginica. If you want to display first original data structure, you know, sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. In that we have now 2 levels. Previously we have 3 levels. Okay, first 3 rows in the original data. This one, versicolor, 51, 52, 53. Okay, and the next okay, so very simple, no need to do much coding here, but you have to be strong in concept first. I told you initially. Now, what is the predefined function for implementing logistic regression? GLM. Okay, so GLM is a function used to implement logistic regression. So what is the spaces? Target variable spaces, which is a flower class, flower type. Okay, now spaces I am going to predict on which data? Data equal to raw. Raw contains only 2 classes, 2 labels. One is versicolor and virginica. Family equal to binomial, link equal to logit. These are predefined. Now we execute this. Now output will be stored in mod. Mod is a variable. Now you see, this is something like space is equal to minus 42.63 into plus sepal length into minus 2.45, something like it, something like regression function. Now this is actually to display the coefficients. How to do plotting of the logistic regression model. And Okay. So now you see here, this is a logistic regression model plotting by comparing predicted values with the actual values. Residual is the difference. Residual is the difference. Okay. From this, it will take some time to analyze this particular plot, but you can easily analyze by using the accuracy or predicted values. Now I am predicting the probabilities by using predict function by taking the model mod, which contains what is there in mod, logistic regression function, and the type equal to response. And I am predicting probabilities for all the flowers, which are 100 observations are there, because 1 to 50 we are erased, removed. Now see the probability values. Now these are the probability values. For 51st record, for example, you go to here, raw data. For the first record, 51st record, it is a class of versicolor. Versicolor may be identified with we have to do some encoding also. Yeah. We predicted the probabilities, but we have to do some pre-processing. Because versicolor is detected with encoded with 0. Virginica is encoded with 1. Something, some work we have to do. Okay. Now display the iris data from 51st record. 51st record is sepal length 7, width is 3.2, length is 4.7, width is 1.4, and the spaces is versicolor. Okay, now I'm giving the prediction for these values. So all the above probabilities I'm taking here, the original raw underscore spaces. All of you observe here what is there in raw dollar spaces. So just the categorical values, numerical values, and the probabilities I'm storing in mod underscore out. Now you see. For versicolor, this is the probability. For virginica, these are the probabilities. But we can't get a clear picture from these predicted probabilities. We have to do some pre-processing, post-processing, not pre-processing, post-processing to understand the output. So I'm making the plot. Okay, now if you try to analyze this, versicolor is actually near to 0, virginica is near to 1. So versicolor encoded with 0, virginica is 1. Now I'm going to do that. Next step. So I'm taking a round off function of the above probabilities and stored into C1. Now C1 values will be so I'm taking this. Now you have the C1 values. What is the predicted class for 51? 0. What is 0 from plot is versicolor. So what is the 51st record actual value? 51st record actual value? Versicolor. So what is the actual answer? Versicolor. Model predicted value is also versicolor. Likewise, you take any random sample, the model will give you correct output. So this is actually, if the probability is 0, versicolor syntax, and if the probability is 1, converted into virginica Okay. So likewise, in this presentation, sepal length is 4.9, sepal width is 2.5, petal length is 5.1, petal width is 1.8. 4 columns data for particular flower I have given and stored into new dat, and I'm taking round off of the predicted values for the new data. Mod is actually having a logistic regression model that predicted values will be performed rounded. Now after that, 49 will be identified as correctly as versicolor. Only one color, one flower will be identified virginica. Remaining 49 actually virginica, only one flower as misclassified. So this also I will show you. This is the last step. So what I am performing, I am taking the C1. Okay. C1 contains all the flowers with their category. Now CMAT contains confusion matrix or accuracy. How many flowers we have? 50. In 50 versicolor flowers, the model is predicted versicolor flowers 49 correctly, only one is misclassified and displayed as virginica. Similarly, there are 50 virginica class of flowers, but model is identified as only 49 predicted as virginica, only one is misclassified. So accuracy will be 49 plus 49 by 100, which is 98 by 100, which is 98%. Okay, that is the analysis you have to do. Okay, how to do the calculate the accuracy? 49 plus 49. If anti-diagonal becomes 0, it is 100% accuracy model. Okay. Now I think LDA is another technique similar to this. So we have to go for a function called LDA. Remaining procedure is same. So these are the exercises you have to do. I will share the PPT to the coordinator. Now I will quickly finish the case study. Sir, if you want a case study or any ML techniques execution, I have three to four techniques I want to discuss actually today.
Okay.
Sir, ML technique execution shows.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
So today, madam, up to now, are you following the class? What I discussed just now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Last
sir.
1 hour.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
In real time, actually, you go to the any URL or directly go download the dataset from the Kaggle or any UC Irwin machine learning repository website or any Quora.com or any IMDb website. Directly you can download the dataset. I can upload into a variable or a dataset. From on that, how we can do all this model building. You just understand that one. In that way, you can understand or imply. Now,
Okay,
naive-Bayes classifier, we have actually it is also a classification technique. It is purely based on probability. Exactly, it is based on conditional probability. Now, for that, this is actually a mathematical equation. But if you go to the analytics part, we have to convert this into a hypothesis. Okay, for the given vector for a given input, what will be the class for the what will be the class or what will be the category for the selected attribute. For example, if you have a loan data set, if you have a age value, income value, family size, other income resources data, the manager has to take the decision loan, can I give or yes or no, accept or reject. Okay, what is the probability to reject? What is the probability to accept? For these types of problems, naive-Bayes classifier will work efficiently because on existing data, conditional probability it will perform. For that, first you have to install naive-Bayes packages. Okay, run it. So you see here, the packages, naive Bayes package is going to install. So once it is installed, we will get again a command prompt greater than symbol. Up to that point, you have to wait. So once it is installed, this stop symbol will be disappeared, red color. So don't bother about warning. So all the naive Bayes related functions, packages, any methods will be installed, available in naive Bayes. And again, we have to install a package of E1071 to support with the naive Bayes theorem. Okay, now I think we have to import the library E1071. So once we have this particular status, there is a meaning of yes, required libraries are installed. Now, before going to this naive Bayes theorem, you have to go for see first what is diabetes data, what is diabetes data set in the form of CSV. Okay. So what is the file name I have given here? So diabetes1.csv. Yeah, here it was there. You can see here, it is a Microsoft Excel comma separated values file. And there will be icon called A that stands for this is not exactly Excel file. In Excel file, we have a CSV format, comma separated value format. So just wait for 1 minute to see the data set first. How many variables, target variable, how many are numerical, how many are categorical. Okay. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, visible.
Visible.
Yeah, pregnancies count, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness level, insulin, BMI, diabetes, pedigree function. That is through the inheritance. Some people will get automatically diabetes from their foreparents. Then age value and outcome is 1. 1 stands for diabetic patient, 0 stands for non-diabetic patient. Now we are constructing a machine learning model, naive Bayes theorem classification model. I want to classify based on the existing data. I want to classify outcome is 1 or 0, diabetic patient or non-diabetic patient. So I'm going to the tool now. So where it is available, in which particular location. Yeah, this particular path you have to identify. So this is the path. Okay. So copy that path and paste here. And don't use the backward slash, you use the forward slash one. So diabetes1.csv, read.csv is a function used to read the CSV file stored in diabetes. Okay, run it. So it was captured and I am displaying the diabetic data here. Okay. So for display, here there is a problem of monitor display. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remaining 7, 8, 9 columns are available after here. Diabetic pedigree function, age, outcome. Okay. Now I want to know those details or description of this diabetes structure. You see the summary here. Pregnancies, we have, it is a type of integer. The values are from 6, 1, 8 and so on like this. Outcome is actually a numerical value. I think all are having numerical values. So model will be built very easily if your data is of type of all are numerical. If not, we have some techniques to convert into numerical. So now I'm building a model using a function called naive Bayes. Naive Bayes. So what is the target variable? Outcome. Okay, outcome in terms of all other attributes. What is the data I am taking as an input? Diabetes. Okay, diabetes. So that result will be stored in naive Bayes model. Now I'm executing. So if you want to see the results of model, you can just type here. So these are the conditional probabilities. So this is the output of naive Bayes theorem. Okay, these are the conditional probabilities. A priori probabilities, see 0 and 1. So this 0 stands for non-diabetic, 1 stands for diabetic patient. Okay, existing data statistics, conditional probabilities. What is the probability of class 0 for the given pregnancy value? What is the probability of that? What is the probability of what is the value of the glucose, and what is the probability of this value which leads to class 0 and class 1? Those probabilities will be there for each and every column. Okay, now next, how to predict the values or outcome 0 or 1 using this above constructed model using predict function. What is the model name? Naive Bayes. What is the data set? Diabetes. I mean, I want to test the model on the existing data only. That will be stored in NB underscore predictions. So we know that always model will be giving correctly results accurately or approximately on existing data. We have to take the new data and test it. So now I'm taking accuracies. What is the accuracy here? Comparison between the predicted values versus actual data set and outcome values. That frequency or mode I will display with the table. Executing. You see here, out of 768, 421 rows are identified as non-diabetic. Remaining 104 patients are actually not having diabetic, but the model is given that diabetic one. So remaining rows, only 164 patients are actually 164 patients are only model is predicted that having diabetic, but actually 79 count also should be counted here. So anti-diagonal count is approximately 183. Okay, so this 421, 164, I think 585 by 768. 585 by 768. So we'll give you how much accuracy? Roughly 75 or 65. So I will calculate 585 by 768. So it is showing 76% accuracy. So anti-diagonal value is 0, then model will give 100% accuracy. Okay, here, 421 plus 164 by 768 will give you 76%. And similarly, if you calculate misclassification or error rate equal to this 104 plus 79 by 768. Misclassification rate. So what is that value approximately? So 104 plus 79 is 183 by 768. It's 0.23. I mean 23%. Okay, so rounded value is at 24. Rounded value is 24. So this 24% and 76, if you combine, it will become 100. Okay, did you understand how to construct the model, how to predict the values from the naive Bayes theorem, how to check the accuracy using comparison on the table command? Now to go for next model, I mean to say what will be the next model I'm going to explain is, decision tree or regression tree. So for that you have to install the library MAS and install the library RPart, regression part. Okay. So we will see the data set birth weight. What will be there in birth weight? So low age, race, smoke, some attributes are there. Okay. Now I want to display the first rows using head, first 6 rows. And I want to know the details of this data set. So these are the numerical variables and some categorical values. I want to display the histogram of the birth weight of attribute BWT. Okay. Similarly, I will calculate I will do some pre-processing here. So now I'm taking the training set and test set. Set.seed equal to 2 will give you, will divide the data set into 2 and the same samples will be there if you run the model again and again. Okay. Generally, if you run the model on data set again and again, samples will be shuffled. But set.seed of 2 will give you, once the samples are shuffled into one particular folder, that samples will not be changed. Okay. So that for that purpose, we are using set.seed of seed equal to 2. So now we execute this. Now I'm creating a training data set by taking some samples. 1 to n row. N row stands for number of rows. Birth weight 1 is to n row. N row will give total number of rows. So how many rows here? I think 91 rows are there. Or we will type dim of birth weight. Yeah, 189 rows and 10 columns. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns. Now, I want to create 80% of the samples. 0.80% means 0.80 into what is the n row value? 189. So 80% of 189, that will become a training set. Okay, now I'm creating that. So this will create samples. Now the training set. These are the values. If you want to know the number of samples selected in the train object, you can type like this. Oh, this is a one-dimensional data. Okay, so it's not working on individual variable, but you can find here 145, 6, 7, 8, 9, 150, 151. So what is 80% of 189? 80% of 189. 80 into 189. It is approximately 151. So 151 rows are selected randomly because I have given 80%. So now I'm creating rpart. Rpart is a function which will give you regression tree, decision tree of the numerical data. If it is data type is numerical, then that is called regression tree. Otherwise, general name is decision tree. That object is B tree. Okay. Now my target variable is low. Okay. So my data is birth weight. On the training data, method is class. So now I want to plot the tree. So there is no description here on the tree. Just the tree is displayed here, right hand side. And the pretty equal to 0 will give a description, labels. Now, if you want to zoom this tree, I think maximization is a problem on my monitor, but in your system, if you execute, you will get clearly the labels for each and every level. If you have an idea about a decision tree. Now, from this decision tree, I will predict the birth weight on the test data. Test data, how many rows are there? 20%. So minus train will avoid the train data rows. Remaining rows are 20%. On 20% of data, this B tree is actually having model will be predicted, that will be stored in B predicted values. Binary, a object name. And the table will give you difference between predicted values from the model and the actual values from the birth weight data set in the low column. This is a target variable, right? So this will contain the low values from the model. This difference will give you accuracy. Now here 22 and 5 and 7 and 4. Because samples are changed. So 22 plus 5 by total number of rows. So what is total number of rows? 27, 22 plus 7, 29 plus 9, 38. 38. So 27 by 38, what is the accuracy? 29 by 38, it is giving 76. 76 accuracy. Then misclassification or error rate equal to anti-diagonal value 7 plus 4, 11 by 38. So what is this 11 by 38? 28. 28.9. Seven plus 4, 11 by 29 and 9, 38. $29. So this should be actually 23 or 24. Okay, fine. So this is how to build the regression tree and how to predict the values from the constructed regression tree on the existing test data. If you want to apply for new data set, you can go, you can take a vector and you can apply. So the next one is actually, what is the model here? KNN model, K-nearest neighbor algorithm, and then for K-means. So for this FNN package will be, first you have to install the next library of class to be installed. After that, KNN function will be used to create KNN classification model and install the library. And I am taking iris dataset, flowers datasets, 1:150, and 90% of the data I am taking as a training data. That I am showing random sample, and I am creating iris_norm1 object which will store first 4 columns, because sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, I am storing into iris_norm1. So if you want to display of that iris_norm1, it will display only that 4 columns data. 4 columns data of 150 flowers categories. Okay. Now what will be there? A random sample. 90% of the data stored in iris_train. What will be there? Remaining 20% iris_test data. Okay, 150 rows. What is the meaning of 90%? 105 rows. We will check that iris_train. These are the randomly selected rows. Randomly selected rows. Okay. So 135 observations. So out of 150, 90% means 135. So if you want to view the percentage of test data, remaining 15 observations, but randomly selected samples. Okay, now I want to create a target category and a test category. So target category contains all the first 4 columns random samples, that is 90 rows, 90 samples. Their respective class will be stored in target class. For the remaining 20% of the 4 columns, that target class spaces value will be stored in test category. Okay. Now KNN model is actually used to implement with the KNN function, and that will be created on training data, that will be tested on test data immediately. And this is a class equal to iris underscore target underscore cat category. Okay, k equal to 30. So k nearest neighbors, k value equal to 30. If you are improving the k value, better result will come. Now I'm executing this. Now KNN model is stored in KNN model variable, and I want to compare from the KNN model predicted values with the remaining test data. There are 20% of rows will be there in test data, and their target class will be compared with the table. Yeah, yes, I compared. Now I'm using accuracy formula, accuracy equal to function of D, sum of diagonal D by sum of row sums by D. So just now here I wrote one formula, right? So the same I wrote here using a function formula. Now what is the accuracy of this KNN model? Is 100%. I got 100%. Similarly, k-means algorithm. So I think I will stop the class now. It's already 7:45. So k-means algorithm and association rules. So I will explain in some other time because it takes time, because I need some data and I need to plot those graphs, and then finally Basha sir,
Sir.
I'm ready to answer the participants' questions.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Close the session at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, sure, sir.
A lot of things I have
Shared already.
really, I'm explaining one by one, but at that time, if you explain all the things, will create confusion in their mind.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready to answer questions from the participants
Yes, sir.
from the today and for day one session.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Combinedly, you can ask, no problem.
Sure. Yeah, I'm requesting all the participants, if you have any queries, please interact with our resource person. Now, sir is ready for clarifying our doubts.
Sir,
Tell me, sir.
Sir, as per that base rule, how many probabilities can be done, sir?
Sir, for all the columns, it will calculate, sir, automatically. Even if a data set contains some n features, except the last target class. Because for classification, last column automatically the target variable. From the remaining all variables, it will calculate condition probabilities automatically.
Okay, sir.
So naive-based classifier is condition probability based, and this KNN is purely Euclidean distance based. K-means algorithm based on centroidal data set that is under clustering. So you can have first concept algorithm input and output and how it is calculated, model is building. After that, how we are going to predict, how to calculate accuracy. So up to this stage, if you have expertise, you can do a lot of things in the R tool with machine learning approaches. In data science, we have to learn all these things, but at least basics. We should be strong in basics.
Okay, sir. Understood. Sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, sir?
Yeah, from participants.
We will check the chat box also, sir. Share the study materials, your mail ID, contact number. Yes, surely I will give.
Definitely, sir. I will also share at the end of the session. I will collect all the material and I will post. Okay, so please don't worry about that material. Participants, I will definitely share the material as well as the contact details of our resource persons. No need to worry about that one. Definitely, I will share. And now I'm requesting all the participants just switch on your video for a moment. All of you, please switch on your video. So all are eagerly waiting for attendance link, right? Please, all of you. Yeah, still only very few of them. Just a minute. Only 6 are active for our FDP. Okay. Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And from participant side, if you have any queries, please, or else shall we leave the session? Yes.
If you want to share anything related to research or anything about this particular content, you can share now from the participant side.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I don't know whether I followed the correct sequence or not, but only the participants can know about that. But I have a sequence in my mind from the session 1 to this session. My first session to this session, I have followed actually the sequence of presentation.
Sir, the content of presentation is very good, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
It's just-
Because of the limited time, I was restricted to only few techniques. I want to show you actually K-means and association rule mining approach also. After that, clear picture will be there in our minds.
It is clear, sir. What you have explained is clear, sir.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, Oblesh Garu. This is Dr. Krishna Prasad. You followed a sequence correctly, sir. Very good, sir. Excellent session.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Shall we close the session, or else still if any one want to say regarding any information? Yeah, I hope from on behalf of all the participants, I hope everybody they have gained knowledge on our programming with different techniques. And today definitely we learned some models, right? Okay. So, Sir Obles, sir. So
Sir.
thank you very much, sir. So as our participants said that you have followed the sequence is good, and your presentation will be very good, and it's very clear to all.
Okay. Okay.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for all your patience, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for giving 2 sessions for me in this entire FDP to remember even the topics which I executed previously, but it's a different experience for me to give in a FDP. That too 2 days, that too in online.
Yeah.
That too half of the office hours.
Yes, sir. And also we are very much thankful for our participants, sir.
Yes, we have to say thanks to them.
Patiently listening, even though
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, sir. We will, shall we wind up the session, sir?
you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Meet
Thank you.
some other time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhilash garu. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Anandal. Now I am sharing the link. Sorry for the delay. Thank you, Anandal. Now you can leave. So after completion of that one, then you can leave. Thank you, Anandal. And tomorrow also we are having the session, Krishna Prasad sir. So then we will wind up the FDP. Thank you, Anandal, for your cooperation.
Perfecto.